feels like Digimon Liberator is reaching its conclusion. With Terramon absent from the Digimon Con 2026 official art, even though he was on the 2025 art, and the upcoming release with Digimon Elysian, the new mobile TCG game, having characters from Liberator being set in the world of Liberator and seemingly being handed the torch for promotion for the Digimon card game. However, this past week or two, and as we head towards probably the last couple of chapters, have been some of the absolute best Digimon storytelling, Digimon media we've ever seen, confirming a bunch of stuff that we'd suspected for a while, and connecting elements of the Digimon franchise that for years have been disparate. So join me for a news update on what Digimon Liberator has been up to and some things that have been confirmed that I've suspected since October of 2024, and for those who are sleeping on it, why you really need to check it out. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to another video. I've got that 100k plaque. Listen, that gold plaque for 1 million is pie in the sky, but if you're not already subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you did. And I also want to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, which is once again the amazing Berserk B.I.T.S. Berserk B.I.T.S is an auto-battling RPG with deck building, all on your desktop. With your digital partner known as a bit, you can tackle on the deepest corners of the internet, bust some viruses, find loot, and hatch some programs to help make powerful battleships to help you get even deeper into the dark net. And by accepting some of the special missions, you can earn extra rewards to help you purchase items in the shop that you can use to customize your desktop. And it's just got its first substantial update. The Aura update expands the main campaign with new achievements, higher level cap, a brand new quest, and an all new biome packed with tougher challenges. You can now unlock powerful auras to make your bits look even cooler and turn your pet bots into true companions that follow you into battle and fight alongside you. Neat! Plus, their seasonal events give you even more to do after beating the main campaign, like the Bubble event, which is going on right now. So what are you waiting for? Check out all their new content for yourself in the link below, and join their Discord after defeating the final Bubble boss and send your victory email into the channel where you can come up with the idea and design and they'll make it happen and even do the art for you. These chips will be permanently added to the game. So make sure you do that by checking out their Discord, link on screen right now and in the description down below. And thank you to Berserk B.I.T.S for sponsoring this video. Alright, so first of all, I see a lot of people whenever I talk about Digimon Liberator asking, what is Digimon Liberator? Well, it's a multimedia project, kind of a spiritual successor to Digimon Seekers, which was a online book, a bunch of products, and kind of promotion for the TCG. However, Digimon Liberator set its best foot forward to be deliberately synergized with the TCG. On the Digimon Liberator website, they have a comic and a novel. However, you can also read the comic on Webtoons and Global Comics. The comic aspect releases every 2 weeks, with the novel or the column section filling in the gaps. The column section is information about the world of Digimon Liberator. It's a fantastic story spanning 22 webcomic chapters and an entire run of novel as well, the debug side, which all complement each other. You have to read the webcomic and the novel to really appreciate what's going on, and even the columns have things which are supplemental material for those. But Digimon Liberator also acts as a huge boon to the Digimon card game physically, because Digimon Liberator has created a bunch of new characters that can be used in the card game. The most obvious ones being the new tamers like Shoto, Arisa, Violet in Boots, and more. However, Liberator also uses a mix of brand new Digimon and existing Digimon to create new evolution lines. Shoto, the protagonist, has an entirely new Digimon evolution line. Terramon to Galemon, Grand Galemon, and Zephagamon, but because he's a TCG player, he has multiple Digimon in his deck, so he's also kind of partnered with a Muchomon, which becomes Medieval Gallantmon. And then we have characters that have hybrid lines, like Winner, who got Fan Beamon, but got a brand new evolution line of Forge Beamon, Vespermon, and Queen Beamon to buff up the royal base. At this stage, it's probably coming to a close. They've not announced a new season, quote unquote. It looks like the novel has wrapped up and we're reaching pretty much the end game of the webcomic. So from this point onwards, there's going to be spoilers for that. If you haven't already, I would really recommend getting caught up because it's probably going to end soon with the launch of Digimon Elysian, which in many ways is the Digimon Adventure 02 to Liberator's Digimon Adventure. Like I say, they are handing that baton, passing the torch to Elysian in my opinion, although we might see more Liberator in future. The first notable thing that happened this past week is that we got a card reveal for EX11 Dawn of Liberator, which is kind of the big Digimon Liberator EX set launching in February. Probably by that point Liberator will have ended. We got a white level 2 card, a aka a Digi-Egg card, Flickmon, from Digimon Universe Apply Monsters. Now that doesn't necessarily mean anything until you read its inherited effect. This Digimon linked with Machinamon may digivolve into a Digimon card with Machinamon in its text in the hand, with the Digivolution cost reduced by 2. Yes, Appmon and Digimon are finally united in Digimon Liberator through Machinamon. I talked about this all the way back in October of 2024, but they revealed Machinamon for this project, and when they did, he was half beast, half organic, and half robot, but with an Applink cable, which was no accident, no little reference. This was clearly intentional, and now we see it pay off. Machinamon unites Appmon and Digimon, but if we go to the column section of Digimon Liberator, they say straight up, the NPC commands a Gaiamon deck composed of Digimon from another world, the Appmon. So yes, Appmon aren't traditional Digimon, however, they are still Digimon, just from another world, and Machinamon is bridging that gap between the two types of Digimon. In fact, the card game in general is bridging those gaps, with option cards letting you use the Applink function even though they're cards from Digimon Time Stranger. But this Flickmon is basically supposed to be Machinamon's pre-evolution, like its canonical anime-style pre-evolution. That's why its inherited effect works with Machinamon. Then, on the same day, they revealed a new card for Unchained, who is basically the villain of Digimon Liberator, partnered with bunches of Machinamon, but in their card text it said, 2 of your Digimon may DNA digivolve into X Machinamon in the hand. Then, this tamer may mind link with one of your Digimon with Machinamon in its text. So that confirms something else we were suspecting for quite a while, but there we go. Official leak? Yeah, if you looked at the Machinamon segment on the website, you got to see its evolution lines in question marks. And slowly throughout the past few months, or I guess over the past year or so, they have filled out a organic side for Machinamon of Digimon based on animals that resemble or act like vehicles, and then inversely inorganic, robotic creatures that look like animals but are robots. This all led to Metatromon, the false angel, and Delphomon, the beastly god, in the story. And what's really cool is Metatromon was more focused on in the comic, and Delphomon was more focused on in the novel. But now this week, the worlds collided, with Coolboy convincing Delphomon to come to the world of Digimon Liberator and fight Unchained and their Metatromon, an army of Machinamon. However, Unchained knew this was happening, and because Delphomon is a Machinamon Mega, was able to take the power of the god and merge it with their Metatromon to create X Machinamon. And holy moly, I love Safer Sephiroth. Truly though, a fantastic form, literally right down the middle, half beast, half fake angel robot. It is just, beautiful. Delphomon and X Machinamon got added to the Digimon reference book this week. As I've talked about before, of course, Delphomon gets its name from Sandolphon, and it is a beast virus type, interestingly, and a really interesting Digimon encyclopedia listing, almost like a herald speaking its name. Let those who have fallen from heaven fear the beast. With gold fur covering its giant's body and a pair of beautiful wings contrary to its otherwise horrifying appearance, Delphomon is a mega Digimon that behaves like an angel Digimon despite being a beast Digimon. That's really interesting. Much how like Metatromon is a robotic Digimon pretending to be an angel, Delphomon behaves like an angel while being a beast, but in the text of Liberator it is considered a god. Spends most of its times within cumulonimbus clouds drifting across the sky, rarely concerning itself with other Digimon. It reveres the beautiful physical forms of beasts and believes it can reach a higher state of being by absorbing the uncontaminated data of angel and holy beast Digimon. For this reason, it hates machine and cyborg Digimon above all else, as they do not hesitate to modify their bodies. With its special move, Prophet of Elijah, it fires destructive rays that track its enemies using green gems in its head and forelegs. Using Jail Maun allows it to grab Digimon with a claw on the tip of its tail and seal them eternally in its body without sending them to the dark area, and the brutal halo amplifies the extreme heat of its breath attack made through its bone halo, searing away all configuration data except for the Digicore. So what happens when this beast virus mega that abhors machine and cyborg Digimon and wants to be a true angel is merged with a machine cyborg Digimon that pretends to be an angel? Well, that's when you get X Machinamon, as I suspected, getting its name from the Deus Ex Machina, God from the machine. Literally like an act of God, a plot device, which is kind of funny on a meta level because this is a plot device that's moving the story forward. And weirdly, its type is unique and its attribute is data, not virus, despite what it looks like. It's a unique unique Digimon that simultaneously possesses 2 Digicores, one beast and one machine, within a single body. Its body is composed of data with differing natures on its left and right sides, separated clean down the middle. So that makes Ex Machinamon very similar to Chaosmon, or I guess in particular, given its vibe, Ultimate Chaosmon, which are also Digimon which should not exist and have 2 Digicores side by side in conflict. It wields the power of Eschaton, which can forcibly fuse disparate elements into one. This allows for the use of a wide range of techniques, such as impacting data streams from its left and right hands to trigger explosions, or forcibly fusing incompatible data with an enemy to trigger damage as the data is then rejected by the host. Ex Machinamon remains an enigma, with additional details yet to be uncovered. Interesting. This profile is very brief in comparison to even Dalphomon and Metatromon, and only one special move is here. I think in the finale of Digimon Liberator we're going to see more from Ex Machinamon, and this profile is going to be updated, potentially, or there's going to be a further form of Ex Machinamon. A lot of people have been expecting to see Gaiamon from Digimon World 3 in Digimon Liberator. Gaiamon was this thing that like almost could have happened with Galactimon fusing with the literal planet Earth to create a universe-ending or threatening threat, and because Galactimon has also showed up in Digimon Liberator, we've had Zenith become Xeno, and there being a lot of things that came really close to the concept of Gaiamon, Unchained even kind of directly referencing Gaiamon, but instead we've now had the Digimon that's going to unite the worlds of Cross Connexia and Liberator in Ex Machinamon, with Unchained threatening to make a world where all Digimon are Machinamon in some weird kind of purifying ritual. Although of course that would create homogeny. If all Digimon are exactly the same and under Unchained's thrall, that's not freedom, that's not good for the Digimon. Is there still a chance that Unchained is going to use Ex Machinamon's power to forcibly fuse disparate elements into one to create Gaiamon? Maybe, but I feel like they were baiting us again. I think this power is just going to be used to fuse disparate worlds, like I say, Cross Connexia and the world of Liberator into one. However, I feel like it's very clear that they are setting up the idea that Ex Machinamon's profile is going to be updated, potentially with a spoiler, so I'm really curious to see what that is in the coming weeks. The next chapter of Liberator comes out on January 29th, and I may in fact do a full summing up of the end when that comes out, because it's really cool. Dalphomon and Ex Machinamon are also getting added to the card game, of course, in EX11. They're timing this so that when the chapters come out featuring them, or when they get added to the reference book, they're being put in the card game. Nothing particularly interesting we can glean from the card, but we do know that on January 23rd, the Digimon Card Game English version is going to be talking about the upcoming starter decks for Digimon Beat Break and Digimon Data Squad, and their new dual card functions. I don't think this is going to line up with anything in Liberator personally, as these starter decks are kind of pushing forward, right? Beat Break is the next thing they're focusing the TCG on, as well as Data Squad, which makes sense because it's a Data Squad anniversary year. Digimon Savers turning 20 years old on April 2nd, and also because, of course, the main showrunner of Digimon Beat Break also was an instrumental part of Digimon Savers, so it's something to look out for, and I'm very curious about the dual card function. But a little thing that you could miss is this does kind of tell us the colors for the TCG of the Beat Break partners. With the Tamer dual card, and this isn't quite the same, we believe, as the new dual card function, because we've seen these before in things like BT9s, Tomoro being green and Kyo being yellow, meaning that Gekomon is going to be a green card, which I think is really cool. And Murasamimon and Kugamon are going to be yellow, tying into like Holy Digimon and stuff like that, although of course the colors have greatly expanded in the TCG now. Then we have Rainer associated with the black archetype, which actually makes sense because Pristimon and Wolvermon are cyborg Digimon, and black decks tend to feature a lot of things like Haguramon and things from the Metal Empire. And we have Makoto being purple, making Kiropmon purple, which again makes a ton of sense. It's a little cutesy bat, but it still has vibes very similar to purple Digimon like Devimon and Myotismon. I really think if you're not reading Digimon Liberator, you need to be checking it out. It is likely going to be wrapping up soon. Around when the kind of like first story arc of Liberator wrapped up, they did say, oh, we're going to make another one. We're going to release a kind of second part, and there was a new piece of art and stuff. They haven't done that so far for Liberator, and the way it's going with Digimon Con at the end of March, that's in my opinion way too many weeks to stretch out the finale. I mean, they might do it, but it feels more likely to me that this will be wrapping up before Digimon Con, and then Digimon Con will kind of be the beginning of the Digimon Elysian arc, or the Digimon Elysian era, with that being the new thing that pushes the TCG. New Digimon Elysian cards for the TCG, even though Elysian and the main TCG seem to have a out of sync meta, you can still make cards based on Elysian and add them to the real physical card game. We've already seen kind of prints of things like Tenkomon. But that's our update on Digimon Liberator. First of all, Appmon and Digimon are more connected than ever. Appmon definitely are Digimon, just Digimon from a different world, and now Machinamon unites them, literally creating evolution line that starts with an Appmon and goes up into a regular Digimon or half Digimon, half Appmon hybrid. It's really cool. digital. Let me know your thoughts on this chapter of Digimon Liberator, what this means for Appmon and Digimon, and if you're enjoying Digimon Liberator. I really think we are spoiled right now. We've got such a good webcomic novel thing. Time Stranger coming out, and obviously the DLC is now releasing. Pretty damn great. One of the best Digimon games we've ever had. And Digimon Beat Break, which honestly for me so far is one of my favorite Digimon seasons ever. It really is that Sabrina gif, you know? All right, thank you to my sovereigns, ZDK14, Jeremy Babineau, Chaotic Prophet, and Lupus Lichlord over on patreon.com/Karn EX, and everyone else who supports me over there, as well as here on YouTube with my channel members. I do appreciate you all very much too. I'm trying to work something out for this year to try and make it so that you guys get better credit in these videos. Just with the weekly format and things being so crazy in 2025, I didn't quite stick the landing, but I am going to try and get there. There's going to be a lot of DigiDestined exclusive videos coming soon too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.